be interesting about a village. You got some thatch, you got some wood, maybe there's a chicken running around.
I've moved from Wisconsin to big cities, so villages don't interest me very much, son. All right, well, let's get into it, though. We are going to start on Sanctum, which is one of those outlier stages in the control map type of sets. Two of the maps feel kind of similar, and then one has something just a little bit different where you see different strats. Now, this is another map you have to be careful of Lucio's on because there is a whole lot of zero ground. You've got high ground, you've got low ground. This map has zero ground, means you don't want to get knocked off into it.
Yeah, it's a chasm, and it's waiting for you, and it's murderous. And Gesture, he doesn't care. He's just going to go looking for the angle. Right on through. Focus Fire is not there, though. This is going to be like the slowest fight ever. Two Winstons trying to tase each other. But hey, looks like we will get one. Nuss is already laid out.
Yeah, they brought Bozix out of the game, but I think it might be the case where you've just got a specialist. Maybe Hyunwoo was a specialist for this kind of, maybe it's just Nepal. Like, he's just the guy they bring in for Nepal. You never really know for sure in these kind of situations. Maybe they have a specific strategy for when they get to, you know, one of the other stages, but it's all luck here. But that's a great opening game for the Washington Justice. Again, London Spitfire to begin this day. We're 0-2. Now fighting for their life on map 5 to stay alive in the first stage playoffs. Don't want to go down 0-3. Washington Justice, win-win either way for me. I'm impressed.
Yes, that is the thing. Washington Justice, they're not the ones with anything to lose. They're the expansion team that's coming into it, right? They're still getting their feet under them. London are the ones right now who have got their honor on the line, their reputation. And well, there you go. Once again, Prophet into the chasm he goes. Gesture, it's a bit harder to do that with him. He's got the jetpack. He's going to be able to leap out of safety. But now it's going to be Nuss. They're just going to be trading back and forth. We just need to throw an Orisa in here now. You know, just get all the Yanks, all the booms, maybe a Roadhog. Let's just get into the vintage.
Well, that's been the Lucio show thus far, and this is why you see him going back, and it might seem counterintuitive, but he needs his whole team there, so he's going to go back. We talked about the importance of his speed boost utility. You used to call it the Lucio taxi. It still is that. Bring him back up to it. I just don't know if our audience knows what taxis are anymore.
They don't, yeah, exactly. It's an Uber, it's a Lyft. I mean, I'm sure there's other options as well, but there you have it, Gesture. I mean, just the thought of LA traffic gets him mad, and he's looking to punch somebody in the face. Doesn't really manage, though. And there it is, right into the mix. Trying to cut him in half, not quite finding it. In the meantime, Giannis is out of the fight, so this is going to really slow things down here for Washington. They got to feel good about things, though, because they're at 75% and counting on this point, still trading back and forth. But it will be the flip, and London Spitfire are now the ones in control.
Finally able to bring that one back at 78%. That's a tough one for Washington because they did commit a lot of their resources into that. You see no check marks on the board. Guido should be able to get there, but that's it. That's the list of ultimates available on the other side of things. Nuss and Badoshan both have ultimates up. Fury going to have self-destruct, so I think Washington Justice is in a position to try to force out ultimates and not use any of their own and fight again. Call that an eco push or a junk rush. Pretty much you want to reset your economy, get back in shape, because by the books, you really shouldn't win this one unless something strange happens.
Yeah, something goes wrong for London, and they're seeming like a much tighter team now. Great focus here on Giannis, really trying to apply the pressure, but Guido's going to go ahead and throw the trance out in this fight, keeping his teammates up, and Fury, oh, the boosters come online right in time to save him.
Calculated.
Calculated, all calculated. So hard to catch a diva off guard with the, well, let's see, self-destruct right in. Oh, just a little bit too far. Bubble is up for Corey as well, but they're still finding kills, and the Justice will not find success this time around. It will be London just ejecting them out.
It's the slow roll, but they got some ultimates out, not quite enough though. However, now they should have at least something to work with. They will be around 80% when we have our next main engagement. So this next fight should pretty much decide the first stage. At 80%, that's the threshold for one more fight will win you a stage of control map.
And there's the angle again, once again. Washington really sticking together as 6. Trying to form the death ball, and it's London who are kind of divided up a little bit. You know, back line kind of keeping their distance, and there it is, mid-air, grab straight onto Gesture. Do they get the punish? Yes, they do! There's the big kill for Justice. Managing to drop that Winston. Gesture is out of the fight. Wow, just throwing the sound barrier in here. Washington showing no fear. They need to win this fight decisively, and it's looking like they will do that. They get the flip, and now it's on London. Well, they do manage to get the punish on Giannis.
Another Primal Rage being thrown away. Both of these Primal Rages went off on positions where they could not receive any support for their teams. Perhaps a little bit too big for their britches there.
Break for the
You know, Briggs on the brain here. I can't really help it. I gotta say the name a lot. Transcendence on the point. And now, last fight up. Fury's gonna throw in a Desperation bomb. Desperation finds pay dirt. Corey and Guido down. That might just do it for London.
I approve, Hex. I approve. Fury really coming up with the goods at the end. Will not get a trade of his own on that self-destruct. And so, just when it was looking up for Washington, London will succeed in flipping the point. Washington are so far away. Unlikely that they'll make it back in time. They're trying to run it through, but it's not going to happen, and London will take it in the end. 100-99, and now 1 point away from redeeming themselves. We'll have a break, and when we come back, we'll find out if they are capable of taking it the win. Welcome back from the break. London Spitfire, this is it, the moment. Can they get it done here on this second point of Nepal? We're going into the village.
Yeah, we do need a name for it.
We do need a name. That village is so lackluster. You got the BBE, you got the murder chasm. We'll get here, we'll get there.
Clash of the Titans up top as both teams exchanging a lot of damage. Corey very low, discorded, gets an orb from his own Zenyatta, gonna stay alive, but Washington has to relinquish control of the high ground. They get out without losing anything so far. They're just gonna rotate and stay onto the point. And even though everyone got very close to death, they're able to stay alive and stabilize.
And for now, it is just gonna turn into the scaring match, although some good focus fire coming through. Sensam has run the risk of getting overwhelmed. Even just goes for more, and he will pay the price that time. And there it is, perfectly timed grab, and get out of the village. London Spitfire, perfect execution, and a team kill for them.
Both Divas attempted the same thing. You saw Fury dive in and scoop people around and disrupt, and then he got out with about 200 HP. The other side of things, Sensam not so lucky. The moment he was demeched was the moment that grab launched in. You know that there's no possibility for it to be taken away by the defense matrix, and a full clean kill for the London Spitfire.
Just coming right back into this though. Going with the preemptive rally, just making everybody beefier, more armor. And Giannis just kind of hopping around. It doesn't look like, yes, it looks like he saved it, managed to block that shatter. Gesture going for the big play, not gonna happen. And now it's the standoff again, trading ults back and forth. Corey's got a grab online. It's a question of whether he can get it to work. And yes, he hides it behind the wall. Where's the follow-up? Self-destruct, but nobody dies for London. Too many ults in play for them with the sound barrier there. It keeps him up, and Prophet's gonna go ahead and show him how it's done.
Counterplay again from Prophet. Leads the server in eliminations. Leads the server in final blows at 20 and 8 respectively. I mean, people are going to get sick of us talking about Prophet, but what else do you talk about? He's been so consistent. He's been the best part of this team, and they've looked a little bit different since they've swapped him in on the Zarya.
Turns out money makes the world go round. And Prophet, he's just raking it in right now. He's raking it in, living up to his name. He's the one who's keeping his team in this fight.
Paying dividends, if you will. Gesture is going to have Earth Shatter up for the next fight, and Washington Justice has to find a miracle here. They're going to have Earth Shatter. They should have Rally to support it as well. Guido gets dangerously low. They have to back off. We'll see if Giannis can come in big.
Earth Shatter, not going to happen. Get out. There it is. There it is. There's the follow-up that they were looking for. Washington, it's going to pay off in the end, and it will be a full clean. London, yeah, they managed to wipe the grins off their faces. They were looking a little too chuckly over there.
I'd have to go back and really look closely, but I think Gesture got stunned out of his shatter attempt. He did get the signal above his head, like and then the counter shatter from Giannis came in huge. That, in the industry, folks, is what we call a fatty shatty.
Done. Perfect. Coined. And we're using it from now on. They're going to be hunted for it now. As well, still a little bit of work to go here for Giannis, but let's see. Back into the fight. back into the game of tippy-tappy toes. And, well, he's going to get pinned in the corner, and yet again, there's the grab, but it's not going to save anybody. Giannis is dead, but they do get the D-Mech on Fury. So traded 1 for 1. Back and forth now as Guard is going to commit the rally here, keeping his team up, but the sound barrier was down for Washington, canceling each other out. Ocean gets the snipe. And this is definitely looking solid here for London. They're keeping it together. They just have too many support ults online.
Able to sustain through this, maybe some early support usage from Hyun Woo right there, and it does look like London, barring a miracle, will take the second stage, thus the tiebreaker, thus the map, thus the series.
Oh, never mind the timing. I don't. He just wanted to ruin it for you, Hex.
Yeah,
he just wanted to ruin it for you. It was so clean.
And my boy Otto.
It's now over. They have done it. London will run it back and win 3 maps in a row to take the victory versus the Justice. Bitter defeat for the Justice. Despite it all, despite them being the team that was obviously not expected to hit this level, they had it within their grasp and they weren't able to take it home tonight, Hex.
Prophet number 13, the reason I wear it on all my Overwatch League jerseys, that 13. Love his versatility, plays absolutely everything at a high level, and you have to kind of give credit to the coaching staff and the management here, pulling Birdring out in a situation in which he was not succeeding, bringing in Guard. Guard takes over Prophet's spot on Brigitte, frees Prophet up to play Zarya.
Yes.
It's kind of the domino effect there. Well done recognizing an issue and pulling it off. Look, Birdring's a great player. This is not his metagame right now.
Yes, and we've seen this in the past.
Yeah.
London are not meta-proof. They have struggled in the past, but it does seem like perhaps this time, now, they're starting to find the solution. And so congratulations to them. They've run it back. They did an excellent work in the final 3 maps.
Yeah.
And that's really the London that we're supposed to be seeing here. They're supposed to be getting the job done in that fashion.
I love to give some respect to the Vanquished as well. The Washington
Absolutely.
Justice, a lot of people thought had them ranked 19, 20 in their power rankings, but they took a map off New York, played London pretty close. Even in the games where London was playing well, Washington stuck with them.
Yes.
It's not like London flipped a switch and then started stomping Washington. They were there. So if you're a fan of the Justice, I think you have some hope for the future.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings real quick as well, just so we can get that overview. That picture as Fusion are currently sitting very comfortably at the top. And Spitfire, thanks to that one win, they've jumped up 4 slots. They were in 19th before this match. Now they're in 16th. And Justice, they still have a match to play, so it's not over for them.
Out of the basement, I think the big test is going to see Spitfire against Spark. Spark sitting at that second slot there, thus far undefeated. That's their next matchup, so they've got that coming up. Then they have to play the Gladiators, so maybe we don't know exactly what Washington is. I think we have a pretty good idea what the Spark team is and what the Gladiators are at. So we're going to find out who the real London Spitfire is real quick.
There's a real argument for the Spark being one of the top teams, and it's seeing them right there at the top of the standings. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some highlights of these past couple of maps in this series. This is pretty much the beginning of the turnaround here for London. It looked so good as well at the beginning of this, the first offense for Washington. They got it done quick. They picked up both points. But then London, they were able to weather it on the second go-around.
But let's give Giannis some credit, too. We talked about the Washington Justice needing to find an identity.
Yeah.
And this team, the first thing they did was sign Wizard, who was a former NYXL coach. He brought over Giannis. That's it. Then they built everything around them. So if you're going to go all in on that strategy, let him be your leader. Let him make the calls. Let him charge in with Ryan when he wants. We saw great plays on Rialto when he was playing more aggressively. So I think we've started to find an identity. And I think all the other, I don't even want to call them supporting roles, but all the other players on Washington Justice looked very strong. They all had moments in which they won fights for their team.
Same question here, though. What is the identity for London? Is it really just going to rely so heavily on Prophet? He always seems to be the one that's turning up for them statistically and with the big plays.
Right.
You know, it's nice to build your identity around your main tank, because that could be the bastion. That's everything that's holding it all together, right?
Well, Chester's confidence really came back to him after that Horizon Lunar Colony.
Like
he got to play a little bit of Winston, got his primals up early, had big plays, and I think that translated to his Reinhardt play on Rialto, where he was looser, where he was firing off shatters a little quicker. He wasn't playing as tight as he was on those first couple of maps. So I think you let Jester play the heroes he's good at, and then put him back on Reinhardt. Look, he's not a bad Reinhardt, he's just a very, very good Winston.
He's just, exactly, it's not like your favorite, right? You know, it's like you're getting a different flavor of ice cream. You're a big fan of cookies and cream, and instead you got to eat cookie dough. It's a tough life.
And then the Silent Fury. We always forget about this guy. He gets lost in the mix on London, but is there a more consistent diva who always gives you work, always puts things down? That very first fight on the last stage of the last map, Fury gets out with 200 HP while Simpson does not. And that's when the grab opens up. So that's the difference. Fury, so consistent, so good.
Yeah, it feels like Sensem, you could see it. Wasn't quite able to execute that time around, but again, for Washington, we can cut them all sorts of slack. They're still figuring out.
Yeah.
They seem to have. I think you're correct in saying that's the identity of the team, right? They're trying to work around Jonas. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at the player of the match real quick as well. But they do seem to be making progress. It's looking up for the Justice. They're down 0-2 right now in standings, but who's excelling right now? It's Pedosian. He will be the player of the match, brought to you by Overwatch, and there we have it.
I mean, we talked about almost everyone but Pedosian, but he was so great on the cleanup. And in these fights, especially when you have 3 tanks and 3 supports, who's going to deal the damage? Yeah, Zarya can, of course, unless she doesn't have charge. But the real damage dealer and the real source of damage comes from that Discord Orb. Putting the Discord Orb on the right target and then hitting shots on it. The damage numbers are off the charts. The deaths are low. It's exactly what you want. The Discord Orb boosted damage is insane at nearly 20,000.
That's nearly half of his. It's nearly half of his damage done that he's bringing. It's like you're bringing a half a Zenyatta in. It's a Zenyatta with 1 arm instead of 2. It's great. Just I don't know. He's just grafted on there, right? That's what's going on with that Discord Orb. So we're gonna go to our next match now, Hex, because of course you and I casting has to go to 5, has to go the distance. If you're a fan of 5 maps, definitely tune in when we're casting. What's coming up next? Philadelphia Fusion and Florida Mayhem. That's gonna be the next match coming up here live from Los Angeles in the Blizzard Arena.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.